Racism is a very daunting word for many people. It's so complex, and we're coming to it from different lived experiences. A lot of times our stereotypes and our assumptions happen because we're not in relationship with one another. Be the Bridge was born from the need to have this conversation around the racial tensions that were happening. I felt like personally that God really was calling me to be a bridge, to be a bridge builder.
Ferguson happened and then Dallas happened. I didn't know how to explain it. Maybe it was just something in my spirit moved. I had not recognized that there was really deep hurt, a lot deeper than just the surface things that I had, heard or talked about.
We've gone through the denial process of everyone going, no, it couldn't be this bad. Maybe if we just were more loving and kind to one another, this would all be okay. We are just laying a foundation for future hurt, future harm, increased distance.
Being originally from the Baltimore area and seeing racial unrest in that city as a result of the death in police custody and the city just being torn apart, it really just burdened me personally, but I wasn't feeling like I knew what to do with that.
That's how we're gonna start it. Okay. In the Be the Bridge groups, what we like to do is to talk about the thing that we know that's causing the problem, but we're too afraid because of fear to address. And so we want to talk about the hard things, the awkward things. It gives everyone an opportunity to say what's on their heart. The church has been complicit to racism, and it's a part of our theology framework. Reconciliation means that we set things right. So we have to go undo and dismantle what we've done.
We will look at the steps we must take on the bridge to truth in order to move toward true racial reconciliation.
So I have racism that's inherited, as most of us probably do. I think that racial healing is, say, looking at Galatians 3:28, we all are one in Christ. But that needs to go from a head knowledge to understanding.
If we are all created in the image of God, could it be that all the ethnic groups in the world and all of their diversity are required to fully reflect the beauty and glory of God?
When I consider this question, it's really a reminder to learn how to celebrate each other, especially within all of our different cultures and ethnicities.
We have a prayer given to us from the Lord, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And if God's will in heaven is for all of us to be together as one, then the church has a mandate to practice unity, and that means diversity.
I think there can be an easy misunderstanding that to be intentionally diverse is to say, I want to ascribe value to this person's voice or perspective as if you have the power or authority to do that. But really, it's the recognition that Christ has ascribed value to their voice. I mean, it's recognizing what he has done.
Tell us a story about a time when someone of another culture made an assumption about your culture and it caused you harm. How did that make you feel?
I don't know that that's ever actually happened to me. I don't know if that's just the privilege of being a white person.
From a white perspective, it seems like a lot of the racism has gone away. And then you start having these conversations and realize that it hadn't gone away as much as you thought it had gone away. And that it's resurfacing because a lot of those core issues were never addressed.
My perspective versus your perspective. There's no communication that brings about understanding both of our perspectives.
It's been interesting, some of the challenges. We've been very hurt by one another's assumptions or prejudices.
It's being humbled, and it's in the willingness to receive something from somebody who has a different perspective or a different background than yourself.
She was genuinely interested in my life, and I, in turn, wanted to get to know her husband and her children and spend time with her. And I really do believe with prayer and just being intentional about getting to know each other is what really made it work.
You can't really stand next to someone and say, hey, I stand in solidarity with you unless you have a real relationship.
Exactly.
Right? And that's what the groups are intended to do, is to foster a real relationship.
And I can ask a question and you understand why I'm asking that question, and we're asking questions to grow. I really want to get to understand you at a deeper level.
If we can both come to the table and sit down, we can get in this circle and have these conversations, then we can begin to understand and create awareness around each other's perspectives. And I'm sure those would bring us together, and that starts to build that bridge.
I do believe there's a lot of healing, and I think healing can't really happen apart from God and apart from others, right? I remember walking home from school in like elementary school, and these bigger boys, you know, riding by in their bike and like seeing a ching chong, making fun of my eyes, you know, and I'm like, you know, as a child, first of all, I didn't know how to process it, right? And I just knew that I was being made fun of because I wasn't like the other girls or the, you know, and I think
I'm sharing stories that have been places in my own life where I'd want to tuck that story away and shut the door and just like, let's just really move on, because that's a painful experience behind that door. I'd rather keep that door shut. So to go into a group and open that door and unpack that story, it's healing for me to go back and revisit that story so that now I'm in a place where I'm heard and in a place where I'm accepted. So as I tell the story, I get to have a healing around that wasn't present before.
You know, I feel like for the past 20 years or so, we've emphasized all you need is love, and love fixes everything, and that's not gotten us anywhere. We've not addressed real issues. We've not been in authentic relationships where we've wanted to bear one another's burdens and really get and understand people who have a different perspective and a different life experience and haven't understood their pain.
And I watch people's lives change, knowing that God would actually touch, you know, people like Heather, my friend, my sister in Christ, and give her a burden, something that we've been carrying for years. It was just huge.
My life is better for having LaShunda in it, and I don't think I expected to gain a friend from it. We do a Bible study together every week, and it's like your friend in high school when you want to go and save seats and sit together and experience things together.
She became much more passionate about it, for sure. Spreading that passion to me, spreading that passion to our children, being able to open up those conversations with our kids.
I have a lot more to learn. And it's not just, oh, I know now. It's a constant journey.
And I am 70, which surprises some people, not because of my age, but because I'm involved in Be the Bridge. And the whole point is that it's never too late.
because we actually have the message of reconciliation. That's what Jesus came to do, to bring people together.
This is about changing your lifestyle, you know, forever, as long as you're here on this earth. I don't know why. I work in a space that is full of white people, but I grew up with the unconscious knowing, an unconscious implicit bias saying, you know, you be nice to white people, but you don't trust them because they can hurt you. And that's something I carry. But what God has done is shown me that, look around you. He's disproven that some of my greatest supporters are people that don't look like me. And so that's why this conversation would Be the Bridge. It started with me personally. It started with the people in my group. And as we change and as we transform, then we're able to transform the spaces that we intersect.
This is what love looks like.
This is what love looks like.
This is what love looks like.
I love you.
I love you too.
This is what love looks like.
This is what love looks like.
Well, I got it. I got it too.
This is what love looks like.